Hello, everybody. This is Clifton Johnson here with the Empower Series podcast. Welcome. I want to say hello to all of my viewers in the United States and around the world. I love to say that. And I want to give appreciation to our funders, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to do the quality programs that we do. So I want to thank Comerica Bank and AE Media Group, as well as your generous donations. Like I said before, if it wasn't for your giving, we wouldn't be able to put on our quality programs. If you want to find out more about the Empower Series, always check us out on social media. So you're on our YouTube channel, we're on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever your social media flavor is, we're on it. Our website, though, is where you can find our upcoming events. So if you go to www.empowerseries.com and then click on the RSVP button, you'll be able to see our podcast on the second Saturday of every month. We're in Houston, the Houston Area Urban League. And then we have a lunch and learn on the third Friday of every month at the Meadows Conference Center in Dallas. And then Saturday, the third Saturday, we're at the Highland Hills Library. So you can see all of that on our website. Please, if you take our survey, you can give us some feedback and let us know how well we're doing, what we can be doing to really impact your life. And you can tell us the stories of how the Empower Series has impacted you. And then if you want to give, if you have it in your ability to give and it's in your heart to give, you can go to our website and click on the top left-hand button and click on donate, or you can text give or donate to 214-225-6337. Today though, we got somebody special as a guest. Her name is Tarnisha Hayter, and I met her at a networking event, actually, a networking breakfast, right? Yeah. Where there's a lot of small business owners coming together, and I walked up to her because when you see her, she is stunning, right? When she enters a room, she gets attention because of how she carries herself, and she's just very empowering. And so when I talked to her, I found out more about her. I found out that she's an Instagram influencer. She has over almost 90,000 followers on Instagram. She's a personal trainer. She's the owner of Tarnisha Total Body, and she really helps everybody really become more focused about being their best versions of themselves, educating them around health, exercise, fitness. And she'll tell you more about her business, but she also does something that I'm really passionate about. It's called Women Empowering Series. As you can tell, empowering series, and women on top of that. I couldn't help but to have her on the show. So everybody welcome Tarnisha Hayter. How you doing, Tarnisha?
I'm good.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, I'm so glad you were able to fit this into your busy schedule, because I know you got a lot going on. You recently got married, or within the past couple of years, I think.
Yes,
right? You have
a year.
son. So you have a son, and you live like a lot far away.
Yes, absolutely. It was a drive, but I'm here.
So I definitely want to thank you. And as we talked before, we met, and there's a lot of synergies that we have about really making a difference and impacting people's lives.
Absolutely.
So I couldn't help but to have you on the show. I definitely want to talk about your business. I want to talk about your new podcast that's coming out, Women Empowering Series. Mm-hmm. I just want to talk about, what is the impact that you have, and ask you some questions so that you can inspire our guest and really help us thrive and become, empowering people.
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about your business and what do you do?
So I'm the owner of Team Total Body. Team Total Body is a product line, and so I sell waist trainers, body shapers. I help people lose weight with weight loss coffee. Okay. And I also have a slimming gel, that help women in the midsections, those stubborn areas that us women deal with or try to hide. So I make a woman look good and feel good.
Hey, ain't nobody hating on that, right?
No, they work in everybody's favor.
But then it's not just women. Look, what about me?
You know what? I've been getting that a lot, actually.
So, do you have any men clients?
I do not.
So what's up? Why are you discriminating? What's up with that? How you going?
I'm
gonna put you on blast.
I've always just really wanted to work with women, and I know we struggle with a lot of things when it comes to self-love and just thinking that we're, beautiful. Like, that is a stigma that us women deal with. And so anything that I can do to empower and uplift the next woman, that is my goal.
I got you.
So me and you.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. So,
hey,
So I can start something like from there, right?
my husband, he is a big inspiration person as well. So maybe he got the men. Let me stick to the women.
Right. So tell me a little bit about, so how long have you had your business?
I've had Team Total Body since 2015.
Okay, and then what prompted you to start that?
Just fitness. I got my personal training license in 2011.
Okay.
And social media came out a few years later, and I just started recording myself doing all of these crazy, insane workouts. And it just started going viral on social media. And so, you know, I found out that it was, hey, a niche, and I killed it. And so now I just want to help take people to the next level. You know, I done did every exercise there is to do. I can't, you know, like, I'm like, all right, what's the next craziest thing? I'm like, you know what, screw it. Let me start helping people, you know, because that really is what matters. That really
so when you look at your business and the products that you sell and stuff, do you still take on personal training clients in the products, or are you where's your focus?
I just shifted away from taking up on personal training clients because of my Unstoppable Sisterhood podcast.
Okay, Unstoppable Sisterhood. So now, you got to tell me about that, because that was very interesting to know about you as well.
Yeah, so Unstoppable Sisterhood is a podcast about women that are overcoming their past. And so they didn't let their past affect their future. And so they actually made something out of themselves, and now they are unstoppable, you know, by the will of God, you know. And so I really just want to share my story and then also share their stories, so they know that no one is perfect, because social media, we put the best filters out there. We take about 30 selfies, and you know, we make our life look perfect, but nobody is perfect but God, you know. And so I really just want to show my flaws and, you know, humble myself as well, in hopes to empower the next woman to let her know that she's not alone.
Well, first off, it's interesting because we tend to celebrate success. You know, we look at people who've succeeded or reached some level of success, and then we glorify them to a great extent. And in reality, it's like people don't see the process of success.
Right.
And it's never straight like this. It goes up and down, up and down. So it's just not what people see. And I think it's very important for people to really be, I guess, courageous enough to be transparent, to allow themselves to be vulnerable, and to open up the book. Now, it's easy to say, right? It's easy to say, but I think that's where the power is. And I say that because there was a gentleman who came and spoke at the Dallas Institute recently, Shaka Senghor. And he wrote this book called Righting My Wrongs. And in that book, have you heard of Shaka Senghor?
No, but I like that title.
Okay, yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. And so but the title is about, he spent 19 years in prison, and he just was very transparent about what he went through. And I think that process allows people to connect with you, you know, no matter what it is. So like you said, nobody's life is perfect.
Because a lot of people out here hurting. And through my process of becoming a business owner, I used to own a gym called Team Total Body, and I failed tremendously, had to file bankruptcy and everything. And so, like you say, you have your highs and you have your lows. You know, you don't see it coming, but just know that life is a roller coaster. And so, like, when it's going down, just raise your hands and be like, ah, you know, just embrace it. I mean, learn from it at the end of the day. That's all I can take away from all of my flaws, is I learned.
Okay, so tell me about I know you're a personal trainer, and you want to help people and empower people. And when you're a personal trainer, you're really working on all of it's an inside game, but when you see the results, it's the outside, right?
Right, but it all starts in the inside.
Exactly, but you're doing something that I think is even deeper than the physical appearance of fitness. It's really the mental health, and really being bold enough to realize I don't have to be perfect.
Right. Yeah, because a lot of people, like I said, think you're perfect. And I've had a lot of my past clients come to me and was like, girl, I was terrified to, you know, train with you. And I'm like, why? And they would just see me going beast mode on social media and putting up my best selfies. But when they got to know me, I was like they BFF, you know, because I'm a down-to-earth person, you know, so social media intimidates a lot of people.
Okay, so so share something with me. Why did you decide to do this? I mean, I take it that there was something that you experienced personally that you said, okay, well, you know, tell me the transition to what you experienced personally to why you're doing this on a global scale.
Well, my past has been very dark. You know, and I made a ton of mistakes.
Okay.
And I have a lot of scars. And I just feel like if I open up and share to women my scars, you know, they won't be so ashamed about their own scars, you know, and like I said, through life challenges, living in the now, that was one of my biggest mistakes, of making decisions in the now, not thinking of my future and how it would affect my future or anybody coming into my life.
Okay. So I don't want you to let the cat out the bag on your podcast, but you know you got to give me a little bit of something, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come back.
No. I'm talking about, so you got to give me a little bit of a teaser of giving an example of what, you know, something that you've done in the past that you're not proud of, that you have now learned from, that's the basis of your message today.
Something that I've did in the past that I'm not proud of. I used to dance.
Okay, we dance though.
I used to strip.
Okay, so that's your scar, right?
That's one of them.
That's one of the things that you're not that proud of because of the stigma that is placed on that.
It is a very high stigma on that.
And I would agree that society has looked at it in the industry itself. When you look at all of the, you know, the trafficking and the what is it, the abuse that is done to the dancers, right?
It's a lot of mental abuse.
Right.
And that's really when my life turned dark, to be honest, is when I stepped the foot into that strip club and I danced for 10 years. Okay. And so it's a lot of mental abuse in those 10 years. Right. A lot of things has happened.
So what was it that helped you see that and start taking steps out of it?
Well, I was raised in church, and I had a praying mother, you know, and so
power of prayer, right?
Right, the power of prayer. And so I was in deep, but I also knew better. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't let myself fall too low, you know, because in the back of my head, I knew God is real, and what I was doing was, you know, committing a lot of sins. And so I just really got tired of going in cycles, you know, like I say, the strip club is a stronghold. Like, once you in there, it's hard to leave. And the reason I say that is because I've left and came back so many times. And the reason of me coming back was because once I start trying to get a job in the real world, I wasn't making that type of money, you know. And so anytime like I would finish school and start something new, you know, if it didn't work out, guess I'm going right back to the strip club. Right, you know, because what people, you know, make in a month, you know, we can make in a day or a week, you know. And so it was just getting out of that mentality of fast money. So I had to pray, you know, for God to humble my spirit, you know, so that I can, you know, be satisfied with a little until he blessed me with more.
Right, okay. And so not to go through the whole journey, and thank you for sharing that and being transparent and bold and courageous enough to share your scar.
Absolutely.
Was there an event, though, even though you may have gone back several times, what was the last straw that made you say, okay, I'm not going back? If you can kind of go back and think about what that may have been.
It was my abortion.
Okay.
The last guy I met at the strip club, I ended up getting pregnant by him, and I just had a cycle of dating the wrong men. Each one of my boyfriends came from the strip club for the past 10 years.
Gotcha.
You know, and so after getting pregnant by him, which he told me that, you know, he wanted a child, and it actually ended up happening, and then turned around and asked me to have an abortion, I took that pretty hard. You know, no woman wants to go through that type of pain, you know, and I feel like that is a ongoing pain, because you reflect back on, you know, I'm supposed to have this many kids, but I have this many kids, you know what I'm saying? And so I just really got tired of that lifestyle of living a fast life, of going in cycles, dating the wrong men, and just really getting caught up in that stronghold, you know? And so I just really had to pray for deliverance and like, Lord, help me. Like, I can't do this on my own.
Well, I'll tell you that, you know, and again, thank you for sharing that. And I think that a lot of people can probably relate with you, not necessarily because of, you know, their profession or maybe having an abortion, but doing things that they know is not right. right? But for some reason, just knowing what to do and then doing what you know you should do is two different things, right?
Yeah, and when you know better, you know better. So
Exactly.
I think it affects you a little bit harder because, that's even in the Bible when they say that you know that you're sinning and you know the word, but you still choosing, to live another lifestyle,
And so that happens, I think, in normal life. That happens in relationships.
Absolutely.
Like the relationships that I've gotten into that I know I shouldn't have gotten into, and also the decisions I make, whether it's financial, whether it's career, or like I said, relationship based. And so, so many times going through those things, I think Shaka said in his book once, when he kept getting in trouble and going to prison and getting out and saying, I'm never going to do it again, he kept doing it
it's a
again.
cycle.
And so what he said is that he realized that people don't change until they are 100% disgusted with what they do. That if you 60% disgusted or 90% disgusted, you still might slip back, right?
Right.
But you got to be at a certain point 100% disgusted, or maybe they say hitting rock bottom, and everybody's rock bottom is different, before you just switch and it changes. And so I know was it 2 years ago how long have you been married?
A year.
A year, okay. And then you got a house recently?
Got a house in October.
In October, so how did you meet your husband?
Well, this young man, I did not meet in a strip club, okay? Thank you, Jesus. But I met him on social media through Instagram.
Okay.
I was selling supplements for a multi-level marketing company, and he was into fitness as well. And, he would like some of my pictures, and I went to his page and I saw that he was in fitness. And so slid in his DM, and I asked him, did he want to sign up for the program? Let me show you it. And we ended up meeting at IHOP, one day. And I told him that the first time I met him, I was like, I feel like I already know you.
Yeah.
He was like, no, you ain't never seen me? No, And I was like, okay, left it alone. And we ended up going to the supplement company was called Kayani. And so we ended up going to a Kayani convention in Florida. And we did a road trip. Barely knowing this guy, but I felt totally at ease with him. And so, it was like one of them spontaneous, but he was married, Okay. So he stayed in his lane, I stayed in mine.
Didn't cross the line.
Didn't cross the line. And when we got down there, well, actually, when we was driving, Florida is about 20-hour drive. And so either you're going to listen to music or you're going to get to know who you're riding with.
Right.
And so we got to know each other, had a lot of conversations. And at that time, he was having trouble in his marriage, asked me to pray for him and stuff. And so I did. And we just ended up having a connection. Still never did anything, right? And in my head, I was like, dang, God, this is a good man, but he's married, so I'm going to, stay in my lane, mind my business. Well, on our way back, he ended up getting an email about his wife cheating. And I ended up being in the car, he pulled over on the side of the road, so I woke up immediately because it was dark outside. I'm like, all right, I don't know you still, so why you pulling this car over? And he asked me to drive because he had got that email, and at that point I was like, oh, okay, God,
You got a sign?
And so when he got back, their apartment was their lease was about to be over with. Next month the lease was over with, and so he ended up moving out, and we stayed friends and workout buddies, and then we just started hanging out every day, 5 times a week. He was driving from Fort Worth to Carrollton to come and hang out with me every day, and then the kids were just like, y'all boyfriend and girlfriend. He was like, no, we not, But yeah, and so we just end up building a friendship more than anything. We didn't put any fake little, faces up like, oh, this is me. No, I saw the ugly side of him. He saw the ugly side of me because we didn't have no agendas. And I feel like that is the best way to just really date, we're becoming friends first and knowing what you're getting yourself into. And I was like, I'm not gonna be no rebound chick, so that's why I didn't, I'm like, nope, might stay over there. So
speaking a little bit about dating, I think it is interesting when you see someone that you're interested in, you immediately go into this cycle of dating. And there's a book that was written by Josh Harris called I Kissed Dating Goodbye. And that book talked about not really kissing dating goodbye, but kissing the way society looks at dating. Because so many times you spend time with someone, you get, you're interested, and you start doing things that compromise, really getting to know someone and getting you further away from is morally right. And so it's really defining what is the nature of the relationship to really get to know someone. And I do believe being friends is it. Because when you're friends and you don't have any agendas, then you're really,
you're vulnerable.
You show yourself, right?
Yeah, you show yourself.
We talk about, showing your scars. And so you're willing to be really transparent, show your scars, because nothing's on the line. And I think once you see all of that, then you really empower the relationship. Hence,
because you see where you fit in, and you see if y'all are a good match, if y'all like being around each other. Like, we became inseparable, and it was natural. Like, wasn't nothing forced. When I would wake up, I would think of him, I'd be like, oh, he ain't called me yet, And we would just like plan our day with no agendas. He would even spend a night and would roll over and go to sleep.
Yeah, so that, you look at relationships at work, and they say, for the most part, there's a foundation of a friendship. You really, marry someone who's going to be a friend that will be with you forever. At some point, you won't be able to do the things that you're able to do right now.
Yeah.
Like, there's a song like, when your legs don't work like they used to. And
Right. Lord.
So going back to your story, though. Okay, so you meet your husband, you get married. Congratulations on that. And
Thank you.
then you guys, tell me about your transition when you decide to change your lifestyle and you start doing things in a way that you feel is right. You run into this man that becomes a good
because
friend of yours.
he met me in the transition, and so here I am. Me and my sister, we got a big house together, and so we have like a 5-bedroom, 2-story, 4-bathroom house, and he's looking like, how is she able to afford, like, he didn't know what I was doing,
Right.
Okay. And he was like in the back, he said, like, how should I able to afford this, and and but it was at the time where I had left the strip club, and so at that point I was just walking off of faith. And also, trying to do the social media thing, figure it out, And slowly but surely, I opened up to him about my past and what I was doing. And I really didn't care about what he was thinking at that time, because he was my friend. And so I'm like, I'm going to confide in you, but you're not going to judge me, And I think that's really how it shaped our relationship, because, like I said, at that time, he was going through, his baggage as well, too. And so at the end of the day, we just came together. He accepted my baggage, I accepted his. And, we just tried to help each other at the end of the day.
Cool.
Really. And start going to church together, and, yeah.
Okay, so in that process, you doing your business, doing your personal fitness, doing your social media thing that's going crazy, and then tell me again about your Empowering Women or Women Empowering series. How is that going to take off, and what are you going to do specifically to make that work?
So I just put down my deposit on my suite, and I have my furniture and all of my equipment, so I'm super excited about that. The first podcast is going to be in February.
Okay.
I'm going to share my story, about everything. I'm just air it out.
Lay it out,
Lay
right?
it out, just, hey, this is me, accept me.
So you just gave us a little teaser right now,
yeah,
right?
You just get a little sprinkle.
Okay.
And so I'm going to do that, and then I have a lineup of women that I've been watching for a while and have saw them transition, to where they are now. And so I'm, going to sit there and I'm going to interview them and let them share their stories and just really try to empower, people. And it's going to be on YouTube and all of iTunes and SoundCloud. And all of the major platforms. And so my goal is to build, like I built my Instagram, to build, the YouTube channel as well, and so I can get a lot of eyes on that and just really empower women all around the world. That's my ultimate goal.
So how do people find you?
People find me, my Instagram is Tarnisha, Tarnisha Total Body. That's Instagram and Facebook, and Unstoppable Sisterhood. That's my new Instagram page as well.
Okay, so you have a new Instagram page called Unstoppable, what's
Sisterhood.
it called? Unstoppable Sisterhood. Is it going to be on Facebook and YouTube as well?
Right now it's on Instagram, but the
Only.
podcast is called Unstoppable Sisterhood too, and that's on YouTube. So Unstoppable Sisterhood on YouTube and Unstoppable Sisterhood on Instagram, and then Tarnisha Total Body on Instagram and Tarnisha Total Body on Facebook.
So has your new YouTube channel been set up yet?
Yes.
Okay, so people can go there now. You don't have anything posted yet.
I don't have anything posted
yet. Okay, but go ahead and lock that in, and they can start subscribing
you
now.
can subscribe now.
So please subscribe now. Start blowing her up, right?
Absolutely.
and let everybody, the 90,000 people on Instagram, go to your YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, so it's gonna be really sweet. I feel like God has led me here, and I didn't go through all of those trials and tribulations to keep it to myself.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm gonna use my scars to help and heal other women's scars.
Wow, that's gonna be powerful.
Oh yes, it's gonna get deep.
Yeah.
It's gonna get deep. It's gonna be powerful. You may even see some tears being shedded on the show. You know, it's gonna be like a whole movement, unstoppable.
So what is it going to be? Like once a week, or do you know the schedule yet? And when the first show is going to happen?
So it's gonna be once a week, and the first show, I move in my suite February, like the third week of February. And so following that, it'd probably be like that last week of February is when the first podcast will drop.
Okay. And so now, so that people can learn from your story.
Oh, and I also have a book, my book.
Your book is it already written?
It's written.
What?
It's written in
Talk to me about
the cover is out.
Okay.
You know, I have my cover and everything. I know last time we talked, you know, we had some goals that we had to accomplish, and that was one of them.
So what's the next step for the book?
Publish.
And when's that going to happen?
I'll get back with you. It's coming soon though, because everything is lining up. So now I, you know, have short-term goals, you know, and so it's really probably be like in the next month or so, honestly.
All right. So what about speaking engagements?
Speaking engagements, I am open for speaking.
Okay. So have you thought about going to schools and talking about like what you're doing now as a business owner?
I have. I don't know who to contact or really just how that goes when it comes to reaching out for speaking gigs.
Okay, so I can connect you with some people. So I'll tell you that middle schools and high schools are always looking for people to come in who are business owners or career days to talk about how the subjects that are being learned in school, how that's applying to the world today. So a lot of times when it comes to entrepreneurship or finances, or it can be an auto mechanic.
Are they learning entrepreneurship in high school?
There are
they
some
need
programs.
to be.
Yeah, there's some. Yeah, listen, that's what I'm saying. So whether it's financial literacy, or that's where we need to make the connections. Because a lot of times, everybody who goes through high school is not going to be an A student.
Right.
And if you're not an A student, but you might be excellent with your hands, or excellent in
business,
creatively
period.
thinking about something, or excellent in being an artist. You know, how do you craft and make a business out of being an artist? So all these different things that people can learn. So I think they need people like you, people who are actually starting a business, to go back and have an interest in sharing, you know, their journey with students, so that students realize that no matter where they are in their journey, it's still possible for them to achieve their goals.
Yeah.
And that's what we do with the Empower series sometimes as well. So what I'll do is I'll commit to giving you the principals' names of like Lyles Middle School and other schools that I've talked to that will be open. And then there's a program called Learning for Life that the Boy Scouts that is part of the Boy Scouts, and they go into schools and have professionals go and share their story as well.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Yeah. So along the lines here, I want you to share something. So someone who might be watching now, who is wanting to start a business but they're scared, what would your advice to them be?
Do it. Do it. Do it scared. Do it anyway.
Okay.
Because you don't want to live in fear, for one. I say do anything that scares you. Like, so if you're scared of snakes, hold one. You know, if you're scared of riding on a motorcycle, get on the back with a driver, you know, like someone who know what they're doing, and go for a motorcycle ride. Never live in fear. And that's one thing that held me back.
Okay, I was going to ask you.
Was my scars. And me
and that was
living
that was
in
a
fear. It was
of
a
what
fear
people would think, right?
of what people would think. And that held me back for a long time. I probably would actually be more ahead if I would have came out sooner.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You coming out now, right?
I'm coming out now, you know, so hey.
Watch
you know.
out.
Yeah.
So you say that, and that, I was going to ask you for an example. So this fear of your past is one thing, right?
Yes.
Would you say now, is there anything that fears you today?
No. Once I put my past out there, then whatever happens, happens, because other than that, I live in, like I told you, like I was the person to make decisions in the now, and so I'm a risk taker.
Okay.
You know, and so with me.
So your husband's like holding you back, right? Sometimes like, whoa, hold up.
He's a thinker. He be like, this doesn't logically look right, and I'm like, hey,
let's just do it and find out.
I'm a faith-based person. You know, I'm big on faith, and so I take leaps, I take jumps, I jump off cliffs. Like I'm like, you know, let's do it. You know, like why not? Why can't we do this? And the next person can. What's holding us back?
So you truly are. Well, I have a hard time saying fearless, because I think you've heard of courage being not the absence of fear, but the courage to act in spite of fear.
Right.
Right? So are you truly saying that you don't fear anything, or you just don't let fear stop you? Think about this before you answer that.
Like, I was like, hold on.
Like, you about to jump, right?
Okay. I do stuff afraid.
That's what I'm saying. Because I want you to get deep with this, because when people say, hey, just do it, people are out there thinking, but I'm scared, I just can't do it. Yeah. So I want to get to, what is your advice to people, giving your experience to where you don't let fear stop you anymore, but you still have it? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, like, it still exists, but when I'm afraid to do something, that's what gets me going, because I don't want fear to hold me back.
Right, I got you.
You know, so for instance, like I even had a fear of speaking, and then I was like, okay, Tarnisha, how can you overcome that fear? And so I joined Toastmasters, and then I became the president of Toastmasters, you know, and so now I'm over here speaking in front of people, getting judged on it, you know, not just being scared, but now they like, oh, you could have did this, and this better, you know, so now you can hear constructive criticism, and taking that and just bettering myself, you know, and so.
I got you on that. I'm with you, because I would say I did the same thing. There was a time where when I was in high school and I was speaking, I would be like,
I don't know what it is. Like.
And then one time I still get nervous to a certain extent, but what I did is I took Toastmasters, and I actually took a job as a telemarketer, because I had a fear of speaking to strangers. So I figured, okay, let me take a telemarketing job, because I got to talk on the phone to people I don't know.
Exactly.
And I did jump out there. I took an acting class. I did martial arts. I wanted to be an actor, so I started going on auditions, and I was really nervous. So I'm with you on that. But I still, even though I do things like that, I still get scared of things.
And famous people will tell you the same thing. Yeah. They still get scared. And so what I did learn is when you're speaking and you are afraid and you do have, like, don't know what to do with your hands, a lot of pastors or speakers, they put their hands in their pockets. You know, and I'll be like, oh, okay, so you're really feeling some type of way, but you're not letting it show, because it's a way that you do things when you are nervous, you know, so people won't see that.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, the nervous, the fear, all of that is still there, but it's about doing it anyway.
All right, so really using fear as an indication that you need to do something, as opposed to stopping you from doing something, right?
Yeah.
All right, so another thing I want to ask you, going back to what you've learned before that can be beneficial for people who are watching you and feeling encouraged because you're bold enough to talk about, you know, a past image, a past experience that you didn't want to share because of how people would think of you. Mm-hmm. You know, there's so many people like that, no matter what it is, whether it's their sexual identity or whatever it might be. A lot of times we put on these masks of presenting ourselves a certain way because we want to have an influence and we don't want to be our true selves, right? So let's think about now that you know certain things today, and don't use your past experience that you've already shared with us, but what would you, if you had to go back and do something different when it comes to your business or whatever it is, that something else that besides what you already shared, what would that be? Now that you've learned it, if you had to go back, what would you do differently?
What would I do? I would research more.
Okay.
Because like I told you, like I'm a doer, and so like I just jump out there, and I don't think too much on the details, the in-between stuff that's gonna keep you going, you know? And so like for instance, when I wanted a gym, right? I somehow got investors. Like I didn't spend $1, you know. I got investors and they believed in me, and I guess they saw something in me, I don't know, but they believed in me and they put forth the money, and I used majority of the money fixing the place up because it was, you know, like a hole in the wall. And so now the gym is beautiful, but now I'm broke. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And so I didn't rationally think that. And then also with me having a large social media following, I thought that my followers was gonna follow me to the gym, you know, and I have followers everywhere, not just only in Dallas. And so that big crowd that I thought that was coming, they never came, you know, like you would have like people come be nosy, people come do classes, but nothing to just keep me afloat. And so I just really jumped out there too fast without details, without proper planning, without a business manager, you know, all of these things just, so to go back to the question is research.
Research. And I would say too, are you familiar with SCORE?
What is that?
Okay, are you familiar with the Small Business Development Center and the Small Business Administration?
No.
Okay, and so not that many people are.
Are you talking about the SBA?
The SBA, that's the Small
I've
Business
heard of
Administration. And so I would tell you that that is a government agency that has other resource partners. There's a resource partner, the Veterans Business Resource Center. I think if you're a veteran, it's an organization that the government helps fund, but it's a nonprofit organization. They have the Women's Small Business Development Center that's run by a lady named Tarsha Polk. She's going to be our speaker on February 14th at the Meadows Conference Center. And so that's a division of Lift Fund, which is a micro lender, and they have business services to specifically help women create a business plan, a marketing plan, get financing, and do these things to where if you've done the research, they have research that will help you do the research so that you're going to be more likely to be successful going on.
Yeah.
And then SCORE is another organization that has mentors. These are people who are successful in businesses. They're either retired or currently in business, and they have a level of expertise, and they can sit back and mentor you free.
Oh.
So they don't charge for that. So there's a SCORE office in Fort Worth, Dallas, and they're all throughout the United States. And they have mentorships, they have online webinars, on-demand courses on different aspects of how to start a business, grow a business, do a business plan. They also do workshops for a very low fee. And those resources are out there to help people. And so there's just a ton of resources that are available that people don't know about. The Small Business Development Center is another one that gives you free counseling. And so as you say that, I just want to make sure that you know that the people who are watching are aware that if you have an idea and you want to go, you want to accomplish something, I believe that there are resources around you that you just don't know. And even to this day, you want to do your book, get your book published. I was doing some research for a mentor who is a public speaker, a publisher of books, and how do you create a consulting company around speaking? Boom. So if you can tap into them, there might be a mentor that you can connect with and help you.
Yeah, see that's what I'm missing. Like I need a team. You know, I'm not Superwoman. I try to be Superwoman. I wear many coats, but yeah, that's exactly what I'm missing is that whole.
Well, let's talk about that because that's another thing. You talked about a team, and I think when you look at entrepreneurs, people think that an entrepreneur is an individual that goes out and starts their own stuff, right? It
starts that way, but then they sooner or later realize that it takes a team to be successful.
It always takes a team. I had another gentleman on, Carlos White, and he's an attorney that works with startup companies as well as franchises. And I was asking him, what do you think is the biggest challenge that entrepreneurs have? And he said, people don't sit back and really systematize business objectives. And when you think about that, it's even this business that you want to start now. It's like, how do you create a business that operates without you?
Right.
And start designing that today instead of just doing it.
That's what made me get out of personal training, is because if I wasn't training, then I wasn't making money. And, it was just like a constant in-phase, and then a lot of times they would reschedule or not take it serious. And, you just keep pouring into a person and they're not one to, receive it. That kind of gets draining at some point.
So let's think about that. Are there any franchise personal training organizations? Not personal training, personal trainers.
I know it's a lot of franchises out here like F45 and...
which are gyms, right? Brick and mortar places. So think about it. So if we creatively think about so the problem is that every personal trainer is always one-on-one.
Right.
So then you got to think, how can you really train your clients without you being face-to-face with someone? What system?
Online training.
So that's one piece, right?
Yeah, and I did that as well.
So that frees up your time?
To a certain extent.
Okay, because you still got to do the programs.
Because you still got to build the program.
So we got to back up. We got to unpack this, because when you think about it, how do you create a system that allows a business owner, a personal trainer, to create a business of training people and have that system work without them? You need a team.
An app.
Well, that's one way.
You create an app, yeah. Because I was looking into creating an app because remember I told you I have all of these videos out there that's just sitting in my phone. But people go back and they do them. And so I'm like, why won't I put all of these videos into an app and just do a $10 subscription, a month, and just, make money without even having to do anything. And so that's another avenue as well. Trust, I've been thinking.
Are you implementing that right now?
I was, and then I ran into a hiccup with YouTube, so they have an app where you can build your own app and you can upload your videos on YouTube, but the problem is on your phone, how you have your albums, right? Mm-hmm. So you have like your favorites and all of these different albums. On YouTube, it doesn't show up like that on their server. And so if I have videos back in 2012, 13, 14, 15, I'm over here just constantly trying to scroll to find these videos.
But you can create a playlist, right?
Create a playlist.
A playlist on YouTube. So you put all of the different types of workouts on different playlists that has a category.
Right, but what I'm saying is you have to go all the way back to 2015 I have like 9,000 videos in my phone. So I'm really trying to paint this picture like YouTube, why? Like y'all are like international. Why have y'all not simplified this one thing where you can just go to different albums and pull your videos and upload them? I mean, it's so simple to think about, and other programs have it, like Instagram have, where you can go to your albums and pick what you want to upload. So to put some context on what we're talking about here. So we were talking about what would you do differently, which is do your research. Yes. Right.
Do your planning. And a lot of times people jump into businesses, just start doing, and they haven't sat back to say, okay, how do we plan? And it's natural to run into challenges, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you'll run into some challenges.
I would say you're not the first one that ran into this.
Mm-hmm.
And so by tapping into either consultants at the Small Business Development Center or maybe SCORE and other people who you can put more heads on this, and some people may not have resources to create a team. You've got your mentor who can be part of your team already to put multiple heads on this challenge that you're running into to say, okay, what's the solution for this?
Yeah.
How do I create something that can be scalable, that's going to be able to grow and be more in multiple places without necessarily taking me all over the place? That's the key, right?
That's true, because like I'm trying to free up time and also make an impact on the world, mm-hmm. And so the personal training or the online training, it just wasn't working. And so for me to monetize and grow something like that, it would have to be an app at this time.
So going back to why we're talking and why I wanted you on the show is I wanted to have people meet you, and I wanted to give you an opportunity to reach people that you currently are not reaching with your message and what you're doing, because it's very empowering, right? And also to have them see that even though they may look at you on Instagram and see you with 90,000 followers, there's still some things that you want to do. There's still some areas that you want to grow in that you're not, that you're still, got that road to construction.
Right.
Road to success still in the construction, right?
Bottom.
And so like you said, they see you, they don't know your history, they don't know your past, they don't know what you're struggling with today to manifest this vision that you have. And I wanted you to share some of the stories. So you're doing a lot of different things right now.
Yes.
You still got your Total Body Fitness. You've got, you're still in the back burner dealing with this app and trying to figure out a way of still training people without taking your face-to-face time. You're doing your Women Empowering series, and you called it something different. I remember
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
Sisterhood.
Okay, you changed the name on me on that one.
Unstoppable Sisterhood, because we can be unstoppable.
Yeah, you got that going. You're married. You also have a son, right?
Absolutely.
And that takes a lot of your time.
Yeah, he's a baller, and so
How old is he?
last weekend he's 13. So last
13,
weekend I was spending my Saturday at basketball tournaments. Then he also plays for the school, and so yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
wife, mom,
And then we just talked.
dogs,
Right. You got pets, right?
2 of them,
And then you also have other commitments too, right? So you're
Right.
doing a lot. You're juggling a lot. And so someone might look at you and say, so how are you doing all of that?
By the grace of God. By just really having a schedule. Because I even do massage therapy as well twice a week.
Boom. Yeah, you want to drop that nugget, right?
Yeah, like, hey, I'm a hustler, so, gotta find different avenues to keep me from not working a 9 to 5, But hey, ain't nothing wrong with a 9 to 5, because that'll help fund your business too. So I'm learning, y'all.
And so a personal trainer, you also a massage therapist, but there's something else that you're doing. What does your husband do?
He's a nutritionist, and
Okay.
so he's the other part to the business, because I send a lot of people to him when it comes to them trying to get more healthier, get more gut health, and lose weight faster, and all of these things. Like, he knows the whole body and why it does whatever it does, and all of the different intermittent fasting and just all of that. Like, he's like a nerd when it comes to nutrition, but it works because, if we put those two together, we become like a really big team. So.
And you have time to work out yourself? Okay, so now I'm really curious. I'm curious about, with all that you got on your plate, and I'm sure other people are thinking this too, what is your routine? How do you wake up in the morning? Like, you can tell, like, your day.
Oh, you on my day?
Like how are you getting it all done? And you're consistent with it, right?
Well, I work out twice a week. So when I first started out, I was like in the gym all the time, like 4 times a week, But now I've minimized it to twice a week, and I work out with my husband, so he's my accountability partner.
Okay.
We knocking out early morning. We try to get to the gym probably like no later than 9 o'clock. And then we just start our day from there.
So some people think 9 o'clock is not early, you know that, right?
Yeah,
Because you
got
said
your
early.
4 o'clock
like,
people. I ain't no 4 o'clock person. I'm not the 5 either. Don't call me at 6.
Right.
No, because I see my son off to school.
Okay.
So, once he leaves, then it's us getting ready to head out and go start our day.
Okay, so you get your workout in, and then do you have a schedule, or how do you keep going with?
All right, so I
be
wake
more
up.
transparent,
I wake up.
right?
And I wake my son up for school, get him ready. He has an alarm clock, but sometimes it don't be going off. And so I'll get him ready, and then I go make me a cup of coffee. I have a cup of coffee every morning faithfully, and I go sit on the throne.
Okay.
Sit on the throne,
I did say
and then
transparent,
I
right?
shower, and I start getting ready for the gym. Go work out, come back home, shower again, and then I start my day. So if I have my massage client, then I have to be at his house at 10 o'clock. That's an hour, and sometimes his girlfriend gets him a 30-minute massage afterwards. And so I knocked them out, and then I already have my waist trainers and whatever products that somebody ordered online. I have those in the car. I'm either mailing those off or writing out the labels in the car and heading to the post office, because his house is not too far from the post office. So I knocked that out, then I head back home, eat, and then I started working on my business. And then my son coming home shortly afterwards, feeding him, we're eating again, and then I gotta help him with homework or whatever the case may be, walking the dogs, cooking after that, cooking dinner, and try to squeeze some time in with my husband if he's home, because he works for the railroad as well. And yeah, wake up and do it all over again, So in between, when I have my quiet time, I also read my Bible. Either I read it during the day or I read it right before bed, and so in that between time, which is majority of the middle of the day, is when I work on my business. So writing out my outline of my story, ordering products. I even have to order products at nighttime, because I'm getting stuff overseas, and so it's a schedule.
But then you also have total wasted parties. Do you still do those?
I had a totally wasted party. Was it this past weekend? No, I think it was like a week ago.
Okay, how often do you have those?
I have those I have them either like once a month or once every other month.
Okay.
And yeah, preparing for that.
And then you also do content. So how often do you do content for your Instagram?
I work on it.
Right. So you're missing some stuff.
I am missing some stuff, because I'm always doing, so I don't really just think about it. But yeah, I have to prepare my content before 7 o'clock, because my alarm is set for 7:30 for me to upload my content.
So in the morning, or what?
No.
At night?
7:30 p.m. at night.
Okay.
That's like when my followers are mainly on their majority like nighttime, and so I have a Monday through Friday alarm that goes off at 7:30. So if I'm slacking, I'm like, I gotta hurry up and upload the content, and that takes time as well, because I like stuff to kind of be perfect, so to say.
So do you plan it out like for the month in advance, or are you doing it more in flow? How do you
I put stuff on my schedule. So I always go to my schedule every morning. I try to build my schedule at night before I go to bed. And then I look at it in the morning, and I'll see what all I have to do, and then I'll squeeze some things in between slots that doesn't have anything, just in case I forgot something.
Right. Okay, and then so as you can see, I'm asking you to lay out your schedule because I want people to see. Like I said, they just see the external.
Yeah, they just see like the selfie of the day. They don't see what, like, I don't even be posting on my story because I'm always doing, and I'll be like, okay, they don't want to see this. They don't want to see me just on the go all the time.
All right.
But yeah.
And so it's crazy to me. It's just that's why I'm so appreciative of you making your time.
Now you got me thinking like, I do be doing a lot. But
like driving an hour and a half to get here, right?
Yeah. And anywhere I be having to go, it'd be like an hour. And so factoring in that time as well. So that's why I really try to work from home or somewhere close, like the suite that I'm moving into. It's in Frisco. It's maybe like 15 minutes up the road. And so I'm really excited about that. But yeah, my day just go. I just adopted a dog, and so now I'm trying to get a little dog and a huge dog to adjust and be buddies.
Yeah.
And that's even a whole job itself.
Yeah.
But I love them. I love both of them.
So here's my next question for you. So we talked about your advice to people who are facing fear. To go ahead and don't use that as a reason to stop, but use that as a reason to go ahead and push through it, because on the other side of that fear is where your joy is and where things are.
Yeah, you never want to live a life of what if. Like, what if I would have did this? I could have did this. I had the opportunity, but I didn't do it because I was scared. Like, no, like that is like living a self-sabotaging life, and nobody wants to do that.
So here's the other thing I want to ask you. So realizing that you run into roadblocks, okay? So what advice would you give somebody who is currently, they've been trying to do their thing, they're hustling, but they're not seeing any traction. And so they're on this brink of like just giving up. What would you tell them to really inspire them and really get them to continue going and believe in their vision, to give them hope?
Open up that Bible.
Boom, okay.
And read and pray about it. But really, a lot of times when I get stuck in those type of situations, like where I'm just feeling down and ready to give up, I close my eyes and I put my hand on the Bible and I pray. I say, Lord, lead me and guide me to where you want me to read in this Bible to help me through whatever I'm going through. And then I open up my eyes. I just fiddle my fingers through the pages and I just open it. And at that point, I just read whatever's on that page. And majority of the time, it has something to do with what I'm feeling. And so, and I love doing it. I do that all the time because I don't be knowing what to read in the Bible or where to start. And so I ask God to lead me. Where you want to take me? What do you want my eyes to see? How do you want to help me today? You know? And so read the Bible, talk to God, and just pray. Because I wouldn't have made it this far without him. Like, I was living a dark world, so for me to just turn that leaf over and now, trying to help women out, that's something that I couldn't do without God.
Okay, I appreciate that. And so you said you already have your women lined up, huh?
Yeah.
So how many women do you have lined up?
So far, I got about 7 lined up.
7? Okay, cool. And do you already know their story, or are you going to find out their story?
Some of them.
Okay.
Some of them I know their story. And some of them are just business women that I've been watching, that I've seen grow myself. But I know everybody has a story.
Okay.
And so just really like you trying to dig it out of me. I'm got to
dig
dig it out of you.
Have they agreed to be dug on?
Oh, yeah. When you put them in a comfortable environment, I feel like anybody, if they feel comfortable with talking to you, then, a lot of people open up and share with you.
But you're going to start first with being, giving people the full version of your story, right?
Yeah, I have to be transparent if I want other people to be transparent.
So are you going to do that with another guest, or are you going to do that by yourself initially? Like, are you going to have another guest kind of help tell that story out of you?
You know what? I've been thinking that because I try to do the story on my own, and I let my sisters watch it, just to see what they thought. And they're like, I was sad, Tarnisha, like, you went through a lot, and I was just sad, and I was just like, okay. It was hard to tell, and so I don't know. I would love to be interviewed, but it got to be by the right person, And I have a lady in mind, but I'm going to still try to give it one more shot because, like, my sister, she used to be a professor, and so anything I do, I run it by her first, and I accept her constructive criticism. I'll be feeling like I'm in a hot seat. I'll be like, okay, there it goes, and so she gave me a lot of feedback and a lot of things to work on. And with me taking Toastmasters and other speaking programs, I've learned how to critique and do better, like I know better, you know what I'm saying? And so I didn't use the methods that I learned when I did it, and so I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna implement, those things and, do it again. But at the same time, a lot of that is practicing on camera. So if I have an outline, then I need to turn that camera on and do it in front of the camera, then look at myself and correct myself, until I get it right.
Well, I'll tell you that one of the things that we do, and this is why I wanted you on the show, right? The Empower series is about helping people or inspiring people to thrive. And we do that by having people like you, people who are on their journey of success, share their personal story of how they've overcome some sense of adversity to achieve their goal. And that really connects because you're not alone. There are other people who are watching who are probably in that same journey that you were on or can relate to you in some way or another. So just by you sharing that story, people are connecting and resonating with you and letting them know that they're not alone and vice versa. And so through that, people have hope. And whatever their vision is, they can achieve it, right? So believe in that hope. And then through that, I want people to be inspired to act on their ideas.
Absolutely.
So you had ideas. and you've had the courage to act on them. Just jump, right?
Just
jump, no fear.
People
Jump.
be looking at me and they be like, "Oh, you really gonna do this?" And I be like, "Yeah." I be like, "Hey, oh, excuse me."
But you're right though. So be inspired to act on your ideas, and I believe that Dr. Dennis Kimball said your ideas come from your Creator, knocking on your subconscious and letting you know what is possible for you.
Yes.
So the inspiration to act on your ideas, and then secondly, education. And so you took Toastmasters. You went out and educated yourself, and there's other resources out there that people can go to get educated, whether it's the traditional way or whether it's going through organizations, going to the library, going to your sister, whatever that might be, right?
And Toastmasters, they teach you a lot, and it's cost effective. Like, they're not like in your pocket,
Right.
as if you were hiring someone or signing up
Like
for
a coach.
some program. Like Toastmasters, they real people. They don't have anything, no agendas or nothing, and they'll just throw you up there and be like, "All right, go up there and tell us a little bit about yourself." You're like,
hot seat.
And so it really gets you out of your comfort zone, and you also, build friendships, amongst the groups, because everybody's trying to do better.
Yeah. And so that's the last thing is, so you give hope, inspire to act, educate yourself, and then like you tapped into Toastmasters, there's all these resources around you.
Yes, I have to check out the ones that you told me about.
Definitely connect you with that. And so there's resources, and another speaker said that we got to be better angel watchers, because there's angels all around us that can help us manifest our goals. And there's a Dr. Michael Roberts is here. He's here for the weekend. There's some program going on. And Dr. Michael Roberts says that, you got to realize that we don't make our own dreams come true. The person next to us does.
That is true.
And
you cannot be afraid to ask, because a closed mouth don't get fed.
Right.
And when you think somebody will tell you no, 9 times out of 10 they're actually waiting for you to ask them for help because they want to help. And I learned that, and once I learned that,
you start asking.
I be asking and I be receiving. Like, absolutely, man. Like, that is one thing that I will say to do is ask.
Yeah. And because of that, so not only do we need to be better angel watchers, if you're asking and someone's willing to give, we got to realize that we're also angels, and we can help each other. So we're working together through collaboration, helping each other, sharing our story, making sure that we're not hiding, and realizing that our scars are the things that connect us. It's not the things that separate us, right?
Yeah.
And if
and
we're
it's
bold and
nothing that
courageous,
holds you back.
yeah. And so that's a courageous move, right? Because I can tell you that everybody has scars, right? I have scars.
My mom got scars. She told me after she heard my story that she's going to share her story with me. And I've always thought that my mama was an angel. I mean, she is an angel, of course. But I never knew any of her scars, and so I beat myself up a lot about my scars. And so when she told me that touched me. Like, I was just like, "Mama, you got scars? You can relate to me?
Right,
With my flawed self, you can relate?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I can't wait to hear your story, Mom."
Yeah, that's one of the things as a parent, we don't tend to share our scars.
Yeah.
I know that my daughter is on me all the time about not sharing how I feel, and I think my reluctancy of being open and transparent and sharing my scars with her has made her feel somewhat alone and disconnected, and she struggles with certain things today, probably because I wasn't as transparent as you share that with me.
Yeah.
So I know if Michelle ever sees this, she's probably not watching now, but at some point she'll watch it. She'll say, "Oh, Dad,"
Yeah, like, I had to be transparent with my son. I had to tell him my
tough.
scars. Now that was tough.
That's
my baby. That was
oh my
tough.
God, girl.
But my son,
bow down.
My son, like, he's a one of a kind. He was like, "Mom, it's okay. You can talk to me. I'm old enough. You can talk to me."
Wow.
And that was his words, like, "It's okay, Mom," And so I had to sit him down. And when I talked to him, it was easier than what I thought it would be, because he just wanted to connect with me so that I can teach him, like, "Hey, your mama been there, she did that. Hey, don't be hanging around these type of people. Hey, bad company do corrupt good manners." And you know, just really don't be bringing a little hot tail little girl. Mama gonna call her out, you know. And so he laughed, he asked questions, he was curious, you know, and I gave him, like once he gave me the floor to open up, I opened up, and I was like, all right, you
wanna
sure
know?
you ready?
I
You
know,
know,
my
Mama
daughter
ain't gonna
asked
have
me-
no filters now. I've been waiting on this day. But it made us grow closer, and so when everything do air out, you know, like it won't catch him off guard. And there's still some other things I have to, you know, tell him, but majority of the stuff he knows. And so that was a breathable moment, like, okay, I'm doing this, okay, it's feeling better, okay, you know.
Well, I'll tell you this, that the most important people we need to connect with are our kids.
Yeah.
You know, and I think if we're able to do that, we're preparing them for the challenges that they're going to run into in this world. And so I just want to commend you for having the courage to do that with your son.
Yeah. My mama's boy.
Right. And you look at the fact that you doing that not only has deepened and closened the relationship with your son, but it really has inspired your mother to be open and transparent with you.
Yes.
And I think it's just the beginning of the millions of lives that are going to be touched by what you do. So I just want to commend you for that. Thank you for that. And tell people again, as we wrap this stuff up, hate to end it, but tell people again, how do they get in touch with you?
Yes, Instagram, Tarnisha Total Body, TARNISHA, Total Body, and also on Facebook, same thing. And then I do have another Instagram page called Unstoppable Sisterhood. And that is gonna also be my YouTube channel, Unstoppable Sisterhood Podcast. So definitely follow your girl, you're gonna learn a lot. You may cry, you may rejoice, praise God, be happy. Just know that you're not gonna be disappointed.
Yeah, and you're not alone.
And you're not alone, because I have scars too.
Right, I got scars.
You know?
Hey, thank you. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you've been blessed, you've been touched, you've been inspired to thrive, you have hope, educated somewhat, and realize that there are resources all around you that can help you if you just ask. And you're a resource for someone else too as well, so be looking at how you can give, inspire, and impact the people around you that are looking at you and wanting to be impacted by you. So go to our website again, www.empowerseries.com, find out what's going on. Thank you to our sponsors, Comerica Bank, AE Media Group, and all of you who've donated and given your time, your talent, your volunteering hours. Again, we are touching people's lives, not just here in Dallas and Houston, but around the world. When you look at our YouTube following and people who are providing comments, so please provide comments, share, like, do all of the above. Do not keep this a secret. Let people know about how you've been inspired and touched by this. Share this with other people. And until we meet again, I want you to be empowered and inspired to thrive. So thank you. And thank you. Oh my God.